ends with Joe, Biddy, and Pip seated at the dinner table. Joe is being very meticulous about how he salts his food and uses his knife and fork to cut and eat. No one is talking as all three sit and eat quietly. After dinner's over,
Can I take your pipe and enjoy it outside on the patio?
Yes, Pip, that would be lovely.
Biddy begins to clear the dining table.
Nice service today. I feel Mr. Trapp did a nice job taking care of all our preparations.
Yes, he did. I would have liked to be one of the pallbearers too, but I was told the neighbors would look down upon it and that it would not show my respect to Mrs. Joe.
I know you did, Joe. But you had a special place to sit as to show your respect while others carried the casket for you.
Joe and Pip sat quietly for a few more minutes while they smoked the pipe, each one just looking out as though they were thinking about the day. After a few moments,
Joe, do you think it would be alright if I turned in here at the house in my own bedroom tonight?
Joe smiles from ear to ear.
Of course, Pip. I am delighted you asked, and I would be pleased for you to stay here this evening.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe gets up from the stone and walks back into the house just as Biddy comes out the back door.
You are welcome. I am going to turn in for the evening. Good night, Pip and Biddy.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Joe. It's a new day. Biddy comes over and sits next to Pip on the stone, and they both sit quietly there for a moment before Pip speaks.
Biddy, I think you might have written to me about these sad matters.
Do you, Mr. Pip? I should have written it if I thought that.
Don't suppose that I mean to be unkind, Biddy, when I say I consider that you ought to have thought that.
Do you, Mr. Pip?
Biddy stands up and turns and faces Pip. She looks as though she's going to cry. Pip stands up too, and they begin to walk side by side.
I can't see it. I do not mean to make you sad, Biddy. I suppose it would be difficult for you to remain here now.
I can't do so, Mr. Pip. I have talked to Miss Hubble, and I am going to go there and help take care of Mr. Gargery.
Will you need any money, Biddy?
They stop walking, and Biddy turns to speak to Pip.
No, Mr. Pip. I'm going to try and get that place of mistress in the new school they are building nearby. It is almost finished, and I know all the neighbors will recommend me. I learned so much from you, and I have had time since then to improve, so I know that it will help me.
I think you would always improve, Biddy, under any circumstances.
Except in my bad side of
They
human
began
nature.
to walk side by side again without speaking for several moments.
I have not heard the particulars of my sister's death.
They are very slight, poor thing. She had been in one of her bad states, though they had got better of late rather than worse. For 4 days, when she came out of it in that evening, just at tea time, and said quite plainly, "Joe," as she had never said any word for a long while, I ran and fetched in Mr. Gargery from the forge. She made signs to me that she wanted him to sit down close to her, and wanted me to put her arms round his neck. So I put them round his neck, and she laid her head down on his shoulder, quiet, content, and satisfied. And so she presently said Joe again, and once pardon, and once Pip, and so she never lifted her head up anymore. And it was just an hour later when we laid it down on her own bed, because we found she was gone.
Biddy and Pip both begin to
That's horrible. Among the Flames by Ibn Arabi shows that the heart is very mendable through these lines of a meadow, he can transform it into a meadow for gazelles, or the tables of the Torah, or the scrolls of the Koran. This shows that the heart can take on many forms, such as religion or many other important things. However, it is seen through stanza 3's first line, "My creed is love," that he believes that love is stronger than any religion on the planet, and that it will cause people to stop what they're doing and chase after their love, which is shown in the second and third line, which says, "Wherever its caravan turns along the way, that is my belief." This shows that he believes love is very strong, and nothing in the entire universe can stop people from going after it.
Our theme was love can be mended, and when it is, you can go back to how things were in the first place. In the first paragraph, Biddy is talking about the death of Mrs. Joe. She and Joe and Pip are mourning over the death of Mrs. Joe. On page 167, Biddy sees Joe in the window of his work, and she sees that he is working and looks healthy and happy and strong. this connects to our theme by showing that even when you suffer a major loss and you stop loving the things that you once loved, you can definitely get back to where you were and love it once again.
Bloopers!
Joe and Pip sat quietly.
No.
I will stop you. Oh, Zay!